What's going on, you loyal listeners? Thank you for tuning in to the L Squared Podcast. I'm your host here, Luke Larson, and joining me today, as per the usual, my lovely and loquacious special guest, who will be assisting me in leisurely launching you into levity, Old Legs.
What's up? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Just have a little spot of tea here, Earl Grey,
Right.
the classic. It's good.
I like it.
It's good for the voice, good for the throat, and I'm ready to do a little bit different of an episode today.
Oh yeah, what are we talking about? Are we going to talk about the Avengers screener that we saw that we got?
Well, I mean, we did get one finally, but
Finally,
but you know,
a lot of emails.
a lot of emails. You know, we've had to request people to turn off their spam filters. A lot of people out there, but we were able to get through to them. But you know, whatever. We have plenty of time for that. You know, we'll do it later. Who cares?
Right.
What's more important is that instead of talking about movies or directors or ideas or Matthew McConaughey or the Beach Bum, because we're saving all that for someday.
We're saving it.
Don't worry, it's coming.
We're saving it, and if we don't talk about it within the next 3 pods, I'm gonna fucking hold out.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Well,
I'm gonna demand a new contract,
Look,
and I'm gonna have some clauses about which fucking movies that we talk about on this podcast.
Look, we're just
And Serenity and Beach Bum don't make the cut. I'm going full Le'Veon Bell.
Look.
And good luck. Good luck. You can speak to my agent.
Well,
okay.
Let's just focus on this episode and the next episode, and we'll focus on what the best thing to do is for the pod, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay. Just had to get that out there.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
So we're gonna do
the draft.
the NFL draft. We're doing.
Put your gas mask bong on. We are talking draft.
Wait. Do we have theme noise for that? Theme music?
A little like bong water, like just.
There
like,
we go.
Like...
Yeah. Well, whatever I just played. That's
that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Josh, you want to put that in after? But like Old Lake said, we're doing our 2019 NFL draft. We're gonna go.
Is this our third annual?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know if we published one of them for sure.
Okay.
But we haven't done it on the pod before.
Okay.
We did it for our old
off the cup.
Right. We did it for the old website. But I don't think we've done it officially. So this would be like the first official L Squared mock draft for the NFL.
Okay.
So how we're going to do it, loyal listeners, is we're going to go through the order. We're going to trade one apiece. So it's going to go Old Legs, me, yada, yada, yada. Just the first round, 1 through 32. We are going to be allowing trades. So if Old Legs wants to move up and I have that pick, we'll trade picks and we'll figure it out and we'll just go from there. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. Let's see. Do we have music for that? Oh, yeah. The audience is going wild here. So, Old Legs, with the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select...
Actually, you're supposed to say that the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and I'll be taking the full 10 minutes to make my pick. So
we'll wait.
No, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray. Woo!
Easy, yeah. Oh, do we have the crowd like it? Oh, the crowd loves it. Yeah. So
Kyler Murray.
Yeah. This is the easy pick.
It's Kyler Murray. I think weirdly an easy pick. I don't have any problem with them taking Kyler Murray, like, at all.
Yeah.
I don't care about Josh Rosen. Sorry, UCLA fans. Sorry, Luke. It's very apparent, I feel like, in today's NFL whether your quarterback can play or not. Yeah. And I'm not just like superstar, but just, is he worth passing up a guy like with potential like Kyler Murray? I don't think so. Like, maybe Josh Rosen is a good quarterback, but I think he just, as long as you put into play like a system that works, and they hired Kingsbury, which is a bit of a moonshot as far as
big time.
Yeah, I mean, like, that could be really bad. I don't know, but
yeah,
it seems like they're trending in that direction of we're gonna have a pro Kyler environment, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fun as hell to watch at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely hope that he is good, because the NFL is more fun with teams that are playing Big 12 football. Like, I'm sorry.
Wow.
That's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the consensus pretty much pick, and it's like when you have a team like the Cardinals that have so many needs, it's like, well, like let's look at our draft board here and how many blue chip prospects do we have, and then which one of those do you think will help you win games for the next 5-10 years, right? And if you look at it, yeah, like Josh Rosen, I'm a Josh Rosen fan. I am. I think he could be really good. But even last year, it just felt like the Cardinals were like, oh yeah, well, we'll just take him because we're here and he fell and whatever. We'll just take him. It didn't feel like they were really bought into him, and they didn't necessarily build a team around him.
Did they trade up for him?
They might have.
They traded up for him.
They might have, yeah. I don't know. It just didn't feel like a great fit. And Kyler Murray is just, like you said, he's just that different kind of guy, and he could be a huge difference maker and change that franchise for a long time. And when you have a guy like that who isn't just your run-of-the-mill quarterback, similar to like Cam Newton. When Cam Newton was coming out in 2011, like, there were naysayers saying he's not polished enough and he's not a pro style, all that stuff. But when you look at him, you're like, well, this is a difference maker, and this is a guy who can just do things that other people can't, and that's the guy you want to build your team around for the future. So yeah, easy pick.
They did. They sent a 3rd and a 5th round pick to the Oakland Grudens
interesting
to select Rosen. So it's not like they got him absolutely for free, but it really doesn't matter if Kyler's your guy and he is the guy. Like, then that's just what it is.
That's what it is, like you said. Yeah. So, all right. Well, with that, then the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. There, I did it right. Happy now. So that means that with the second pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State. Another easy pick.
Pretty chalky so far.
Yeah, we're getting controversial here, yeah.
Pretty chalky.
This is another safe pick. I think these are the two, pretty much the consensus, number 1, number 2 picks for the most part. Nick Bosa is just a guy who has maybe the best tape of any player on here. He seems like the safest pick in this draft, to be totally honest. And the Niners, like, they've drafted defensive tackles, defensive ends kind of high the last few years, and some of them have played well. Like DeForest Buckner, shines a little bit, but they haven't all necessarily panned out. But I think that Nick Bosa is a guy who from what I could tell from Joey, his, honestly, Nick's tape almost looks better than Joey Bosa's tape did when he was at Ohio State. But I think that he's a guy who can come in and just rush the passer like they need. And, the Niners still have some needs, but they, according to them, have their quarterback, and they have a really good coach who's he's a really good play caller at least. And, it's an exciting young team, and I feel like this could help their defense. When you have a good pass rush, that kind of erases a little bit sloppy defensive play. I know, as being a Vikings fan with Jared Allen, he helped erase some horrible coverages in his time with the Vikings. So, yeah, safe pick here. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
So this is a funny one for me because I was trying to think of brothers in the NFL or really in sports in general.
It's never happened before. Oh, wait.
Right, yeah. This is the first set of brothers, actually.
First that I know of. Just like when...
coming off the top rope here.
When Sam Smith won the Oscar, it's like, well, I'm the first openly gay person to win an Oscar, right? Everyone's like, should we give it to him? Whatever. We'll clap. That's fine. You can have that.
Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to think of brothers who, A, played the same position, and B, were essentially comped to each other. Like, everyone's comp for Nick Bosa is, well, he's Joey Bosa.
Yep.
And it's kind of a dumb comp, but it's actually kind of not a dumb comp. Because I feel like if they switch numbers, like, I fucking wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah. It's mainly the nose. The nose is how you can tell them apart.
Yeah, Joey Bosa, big nose.
Big old honker.
Big nose and, like, small helmet. They wear those, like, they even, like, they have the same weird small face mask. But
yep.
I was trying to think, like, because even, like, Eli and Peyton, like, no one was saying Eli was Peyton Manning, right?
Not really.
They both went, Eli went one, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean... They were just kind of saying.
Was that the case? I was trying to really think hard.
Not
today,
really.
Like, people were like, "This guy is like, he could be better than Peyton."
No,
like, was anyone saying that?
I don't think so. I think it was more like Eli is Peyton's younger brother, and he's coming out of a pro style, and he looked like a polished, pro-ready quarterback. But I don't think people were saying he's going to be better than Peyton Manning. I highly.
I mean, this was also in the age of. Like when you looked at quarterback prospects, he's like, is he 6'5"?
Right. Well, yeah, because
that
was a great quarterback class with him and Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger as the top three. That was a really good class, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Is there any bust potential here? I mean,
yeah,
he essentially didn't play his senior season. If you want to comp him to Joey Bosa hasn't really put together a full season, even though he's
that's true.
Undoubtedly a game changer when he's on the field. Like, you can't question that. But like, is there any? I don't know. It feels like it's at least worth mentioning that he is he's been hurt. If you want to comp him to his brother's been hurt. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, no. I think there always is, But I just think if he's healthy and if he's on the field, I don't really see that happening. But yeah, I mean, if he's injury plagued, then yeah, for sure it could definitely be a bust for sure. But
one other thing I want to introduce to this pod is that the way that Luke and I do a lot of our research, like everyone else on the planet. Including probably John Gruden.
Oh, yeah.
We watch a lot of YouTube.
So much YouTube.
A lot of YouTube highlight reels. I was going through these, and I was like, I started getting down into the comments, and the comments are pure just
gold.
Comedic genius.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to pick out some of my favorites. So this is my one for Nick Bosa. And I shout outs to all the commenters here because this made it really feel worthwhile going through all of this. Because essentially, to kind of pull back the curtains a little bit and shed some light on our biases. Luke being a Vikings fan, me being a Bears fan. The Bears don't draft till next Tuesday.
Yep.
So I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but this got me through. So Nick Bosa, here we go. First comment from Taylor Yashimura 2. Not gonna lie, I wasn't sure if my cards should pick Bosa or Q, but now I'm thinking he's referring to Quinn and Nelson or Quinn and
I see. Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
But now I'm certain he will be a menace at the next level. Fire, fire, fire. 2 likes for that. So
well, that's a lot of support.
But that was cool because after watching that video, he was like, "Now I'm sure."
Now I wasn't so sure before, but now with this highlight reel, not actual game film, he's way better than Q.
Yeah.
Fire,
I had a couple for Kyler too. I kind of forgot, but I'll just run through these quick.
Okay.
John Braxton 4. Never seen him play until tonight. I'm assuming tonight he's referring to watching on his computer.
YouTube. Yeah. Could be any night.
Holy shit! Drew Brees and Russell Wilson's had a kid.
Wow.
Very impressive. I would draft.
Wow.
382 likes. So,
is he associated with the Cardinals at all? Do we know that?
That's a great question. Some others, if Tyreek Hill played quarterback.
Wow.
Kind of reminds me of Johnny Manziel, but faster and with better accuracy. Well, that's
so just good. Like a better quarterback is basically what you're saying?
My favorite one from this, from Revert Blitz 4, how is he Bo Jackson 2.0?
What?
I like that he phrased it as a question.
How? Someone please tell me.
Yeah. How is he Bo Jackson 2.0? I feel like he wanted to say, is he Bo Jackson 2.0? But it's... So, wow. That only got 1 like.
Yeah, I don't support that. I would not like that for sure.
So...
All right.
So, there we go. So,
with that, then the New York Jets are on the clock.
Jets, Jets. Let's see. So, I got to be a little bit spicy here. I got to go a little bit off the beaten path. And I got to think something kind of Jetsy. And I'm thinking... I'm going to go Mr. Ed Oliver.
Whoa.
Defensive lineman. Houston.
I'm going to ring the bell for that one. All right.
Yep.
Wow.
We're done with this chalk bullshit.
Okay. All right.
We're throwing it out there. We're going with the athletic specimen. We're going with the guy who is highly touted, who is undersized, who has been wrongfully comped to blanking.
To Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, yeah. And I don't care. Ed Oliver, that's the pick. Defensive tackle.
Damn.
What do you think?
Okay. I mean, well, I like the ballsiness of it. Ed Oliver's kind of an interesting prospect because there's people who have him super high and there's people that have him dropping. And this past NCAA season, a lot of people were talking about Ed Oliver being potentially the first overall pick. And then as the year went on, it just kind of was a bit tumultuous, and just his stock is kind of what you make of it. Yeah,
take off the fucking jacket out of Ed Oliver. You're not playing.
Right, so stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dumb shit like that. And everyone's comparing to Aaron Donald. When you watch him, you're like, well, no, he's not. He's just a D tackle. Like you said, he is undersized. I could totally see the Jets doing this. And I think a lot of people are having Josh Allen go here. But like you said, that's a Jetsy move. And pair him with Leonard Williams, and whoever else they have there. I know they signed C.J. Mosley at linebacker. Jamal Adams is a really good young safety. It's a good day to be
C.J. Mosley. They gave him a lot of money.
Very good. Yep. He'll do fine. I like that pick.
So, Yeah, so we're going to. And should we make this clear? Are we going off of? Are we mocking like what we think is going to happen, or what we would do?
I always take it as what we think is going to happen, who we think.
Okay. Cool.
You know, save for one, maybe we'll get to later. But okay, so are there any YouTube comments, any juicy ones for Ed Oliver?
Yes, very good. Ed Oliver, this is from Dan Nation 22884. Not saying he will be, but I see a lot of John Randall in him.
What? Oh, okay.
17 likes.
Wow, that got a lot of popular.
Not saying it's hard to get like the rhythm of these, like especially if I haven't read them before I say them. But not saying he will be, but I see a lot of John Randall in him, and I love anyone who just goes for like a Hall of Famer, like top 5-ish, like player to ever play their position, and then throw it into a YouTube comment. Like I fucking respect that. Yeah. So that was my comment there.
Well, my takeaway from that is John Randall had way faster hands. Just played a lot faster than Ed Oliver. And was a completely different type of player. But that's fine. You know, that's fine. Well, that kind of throws me off now. So the Oakland Raiders are now on the clock. So this is interesting because I have a couple different options here. A lot of different options, actually. More options than I thought I would. Yeah, I do. So this is it's the first of the Raiders' 3 first-round picks this year. And they have a lot of needs. Yeah. So I'm thinking here, we got Gruden, right? But we also have Mayock. I love Mayock.
So you got to balance those two out.
I do. That's the hard part, is because I know that, like...
I think you're getting like just like an average pick here. You're like Mayock on his own. I think would do pretty well, but you're gonna have that. I tell you what, man. I'm looking at that Washington guy, man, and he looks like a real ball player, man.
No. You know, this is tough because I feel like I'm not sure how much they like Josh Allen. You know, they have a lot of needs, but if I'm looking at my blue chips that are left here, man, this is really hard. You know,
let's go with your gut. Go with your gut. I have faith.
You know what? I think my gut is telling me that they'll just go with Quinnen Williams.
Oh!
I just think they will.
We got another chalk. Another chalk pick here. Yeah. The listeners are falling asleep. They're getting so their eyes are getting very, very tired right now.
Well, it's tough because it's like, well, I mean, I could see them like if the Jets take Ed Oliver, then maybe they would swipe up and take Josh Allen, but it's just like that feels like too much of not a Raidery thing to do, because it's like, well, yeah, Josh Allen could be a good pass rusher, and then he fills in the spot of Khalil Mack. That makes sense. But with the Raiders, it's like I don't know if they would do that. You know, they'd probably just get a really athletic defensive tackle who, you know, could be an Aaron Donald type, probably not, but could just be a Sheldon Rankins type, who's just an athletic, just a good athletic interior defensive tackle, and doesn't really get talked about much, and but is just a good player, but not really much else. Could be that.
Okay. So, I like that pick. I think it's super safe. Playing devil's advocate here, why did he only play 1 year at Alabama? If he, like, a lot of people, like, there's multiple sites who are say, like, Quinnen Williams, best player in the draft.
Yeah.
1 year wonder.
Yep.
Not a freak athlete, just quote unquote good football player. He's a gamer. Are you concerned?
Yeah. I mean, I always am. But with everything. But Yeah, no, I mean, it's when you watch his tape, you say, well, shit, like you said, that's a good football player. Oh, it's a good football player. But, who else was a one-year wonder, a one-year starter? Mark Sanchez. He's
that really drives home your point there. Now I get it. Now, see, I wasn't sure prior to,
but now, yeah.
Now I understand the pick. So,
yep.
So here we go. Quinnen Williams, Stefano 1 chimed in with, he just ran 4.8 40 and a 1.68 10-yard split. Very compatible to Aaron Donald. I think he was trying to say very comparable to Aaron Donald. I just like the compatible.
They would probably hit it off.
They would be friends.
Maybe even more.
Aaron Donald was watching NFL Network and he was on the combine. He's like, dude, that guy,
I fucking like that guy.
I'm gonna call that guy up.
Yeah.
I'm just yo, Quinnen, are you yo, it's Aaron Donald.
Oh, hey, Aaron, what's up, man?
Compatible.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
well, do you want to, should we, go hang out or something later?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Very, very, very compatible.
Yeah, very compatible.
Yes.
That's a great one. All right, well, with that being said, the Bucks are on the clock. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh, it's like my second favorite franchise.
So, I mean, as we look now, I mean, according to my list here, they have a couple needs. Linebacker, corner, safety, running back, defensive line. I don't know. This is an interesting pick.
I hear you. And the Bucks are a weird team.
They are,
right?
Yeah. They're a weird franchise.
They're a weird team. I can't really rule out anything, right?
Right. I mean, it could be a grand slam. It could be a bust. It could be just a role player. I don't know. It's tough.
This feels okay. Here we go. I think I got it dialed up. This is It feels very Bucksy to me. I'm gonna go Montez Sweat.
Whoa!
Mississippi State.
Whoa!
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I'm going with the athletic specimen again. Athletic specimen, some minor. Maybe he's not some minor. I'm not really sure what you call it. Off-field issues. But apparently, very leader of his team. 6'6", 260, 22, 11 and a half sacks. Again, athletic freak.
Yeah.
And it just kind of feels like the Bucks to me. Yeah. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, the Bucks just have him as their number one player on their board. They're just like him above everybody else. They only watched the combine, and they were like, "Yep, that's all we need." I could see it happening. I like that you're not chalking her up here.
Yeah, it's like him, Josh Allen, and then they lost Quan Alexander, so I was thinking maybe a little Devin White, but it just didn't really fit.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I
as much as I really, really, really like Devin White, and I don't subscribe to that thing where you can't draft a non-rushing the passer linebacker in the top 10 because you can.
Look at Luke Kuechly.
Before, there's plenty of instances where it's like, oh yeah, that's just guy's really good at football, like this,
Yeah.
So I don't subscribe, but again, it doesn't really feel like. And if they let Quan Alexander walk, it says to me that they don't necessarily value that position as much as what would be spending a top 5 pick. So fuck it.
Yep.
Sweat.
Boom. I love it.
One of my favorite names in the draft. Hell yeah. Chop it up, baby.
All right.
Montez Sweat.
All right.
Sounds like an R&B, like a late 90s R&B artist.
Yeah. How do we know he's
that
not?
That also helps his draft stock
immeasurably. Yeah. I love it. Off the cuff. I like both of those picks.
And should we cut quick to Cameron Brooks 3?
Yes.
Overrated. Looks like a speed rusher with little moves. Hashtag little.
Uh-oh.
Most of his sacks were because of good coverage from the secondary. So the QB had to either hold the ball long or start scrambling around. I've seen him mock the Ravens in mock drafts, but IMO, there are more skilled pass rushers available in rounds 2 through 7.
Wow.
So this guy's like, fuck it. I don't like this guy. I'll find a better pass rusher in the 7th round.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it pays off for him.
So, there you go. Yeah. Don't bother. Just pick one up in the 7th round.
Yeah, that works out all the time.
Yeah. And then I also had a note in here, like, everyone in the comments was comparing this guy to Julius Peppers, and, again, like, it's, like, you're...
yeah.
Julius Peppers.
Yeah. I know. I fucking hate that.
Maybe a top 5 guy to ever play the position.
Right.
Just,
and then, Yep, easy. Duh.
Throw it out there. Yeah. Here we go.
Like...
Okay.
Yeah, like, I remember when Matt Ryan was coming out, and people were like, oh, he kind of reminds me of Brett Favre. And I was like, what? How? In what way? What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Well, with that, then the New York Giants are on the clock, and this is an easy pick for me and the New York Giants. So with the with the 6th pick of the 2019
anything
NFL
but a
draft,
quarterback, right?
They're gonna take Josh Allen.
Boom.
That's an easy one.
Josh Allen.
I'm convinced that the Giants are going to use both of their first-round picks on defensive players, if not both linebackers / defensive end.
Mollies.
Yeah.
Hog mollies.
Big
Gettleman does not want to hear your quarterback shit.
Exactly. He's not going to do it. Eli's the
guy.
guy.
Eli's going to play for another 5 years.
And he's going to be playing still at a high level for all those 5 years.
I think he's actually going to come back around. Like, if he plays long enough at, like, the level he's at, we're actually going to, like, start thinking, well, you know, he's like 38, and that's not bad for a 38-year-old, right? He's going to start, the level of play is going to start, like, coming level with his age, and we're going to start thinking, like, well, you know, he's like, he's like 41, and you know, you got to give the guy credit. He's really flicking it around there for a 41-year-old, and it's just like, meanwhile, it's just been the same Eli Manning for the last 13 years.
Oh yeah, the exact same.
So yes, I agree. They're not even. No. There's no quarterbacks on their board.
No, not even close.
So yeah. All right, I like it.
So then, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. Oh wait, do you have a Josh Allen?
Yes.
Comment?
Can he stop the run? This is all in caps too. If not, they will run towards him all the time.
Wow. Solid criticism
so that was all in caps. That was kind of fun.
Who commented that?
I didn't catch that one, but I actually have the comments here for this one. Anthony Dangle he responded to that previous statement saying Von Miller can't stop the run to save his life, but he's a Hall of Famer edge.
Well, I mean, he can, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah, and then so this might be your burner. Cameron Smith 4 responded to the previous comment saying, Von, he is one of best run defenders against the run. There was no exclamation or periods or commas or anything like that, so I didn't really know what to do with that. But
I mean, you can't argue with that. That's a really underrated factor. How well are you at stopping the run against the run? You know,
against the run. So yeah. So these are like my favorite things ever. I could physically feel myself getting dumber. Like
Yeah.
I was reading like actual scientific papers today, and it felt like harder because I've been reading YouTube comments the last 24 hours. Like, it's like,
man,
like,
that's not good
my
for
brain.
you. That's hilarious.
So,
all right.
Who's next on the board?
So the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock.
Ooh, the Jags. Who do I got for the Jags? Let's see here. Okay, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
All right.
We are going with, and this is making less sense. No, never mind. We're not going with that.
Okay. Okay. Good.
We're actually passing on. I'll explain this after I say it. But we're going tackle out of Florida, 6'5", 312 pounds, Jawan Taylor.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
That feels like a very Jaguars pick. Very Jaguars pick.
I'll preface that with my favorite tackle in the draft is Andre Dillard, out of Washington State, just because he's like a pass blocking like mad scientist experiment. I read this stat that he has like 300 more pass blocking snaps than anyone else, any other like tackle in the nation, just because he's playing on a Mike Leach team.
Sure.
And it's just fucking black magic pandemonium. So he's my favorite, but that just doesn't fit with Jacksonville. Even with Foles, I think I can't see them like just throwing it around the yard like most NFL teams would. They're still going to look to ground and pound. And stylistically, I would say that, Jawan Taylor and then Alabama Jonah Hill would be more 1-2 there. I don't know. Is that even a need for him? I feel like that's a need, right?
Yeah. Yep, it is.
So,
do you remember who?
That's where I'm going.
Do you remember who the Jaguars took with their first pick in the 2013 NFL draft?
So I prepped this, and I just slipped my mind.
It was an offensive tackle. It was Luke Jokel.
DJ Fluker.
No. Luke Jokel.
Jokel? I thought... Wait, what? Did they trade him?
They might have. He was never good. So that was the year where it was the run on...
They picked Jokel?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was the Chiefs.
No, the Chiefs took Eric Fisher with the first overall pick, but Luke Jokel was projected as the first.
So Jokel was just trash, right?
Exactly, and Eric Fisher kind of was too, and then Lane Johnson went after him, but Lane Johnson's been good. But those were the three.
Lane Johnson is good.
Yeah, he is good. He's definitely the best out of those three.
And so that's kind of interesting because that kind of ended the whole. Just take the best tackle. Like that was like for like the stupid like what we used to think about quarterback. I don't know. He's like 6'6", isn't he? Like
right.
Yeah. He's that thing where just pencil him in. I fucking hate that when guys pencil him in for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like just no doubter.
Yep.
And,
easy.
Yeah, it turns out he can't block.
Look at fucking Matt Khalil. Like he had a really good rookie year, and then was shit after that. And I penciled him in. I was like, this is great. I can't wait. And he broke my heart. Yeah.
So,
anyway.
That's my pick. I really like this comment. This is from Kevin Witter 3, and I feel like this might be one of your burner accounts, so don't be offended.
Okay, but it probably is.
Because it just felt like something that you would say, and I was trying to find these when I was watching offensive line tape, because I honestly, I was just like clicking the videos and going straight to the comments, but but this sounded like Luke. He has to is in all caps, do a better job of shooting his hands. Too much hugging and bands on the shoulder pads instead of the chest plate. Otherwise, I love this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me.
So
yeah, look,
yeah,
I don't let anybody off the hook, man. You know, I'm a stickler for technique. You know, I always say that.
Yeah. So I just like that technical that line breakdown on YouTube. That was some quality shit.
Yeah.
So nice job, Kevin Witter.
I mean, on Snapchat throughout the season, you will see me pause NFL games to talk about great blocks or terrible blocks and break it down. I love it. Yep, that's definitely going to happen. Well, with that, now the Detroit Lions are on the clock.
Ooh, NFC North.
Yeah, so this is a tough one because they're, I don't know, the Lions are just kind of, they feel like I honestly don't know what they're going to do. It feels like whatever they're
a historically unbettable team.
Yes.
I feel like they could win or lose any game on any night. They're just as likely to beat the Patriots as they are to lose to the Cardinals. They really make no sense from year to year. They're annoyingly tough in division. Even when your team your team wins against them, it feels like it's like, God damn, that was like just an annoying game. Good receiving core. I really like their receivers. Stafford is Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They could pick anyone.
I know, it's tough. You know, and yeah, Stafford is Stafford. What I hate about Matthew Stafford is that he's a lot like Jay Cutler, where, you know, men in their 40s will be sitting around saying, hey, he's a heck of a good quarterback. Is he? Because I don't know if he's...
Stafford's one of those...
Has he
it's
ever
one of those
beaten
things where people in 20 years who never saw Stafford play will just look at Pro Football Focus on their iCloud retinal implant and be like, you know what? Stafford should be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And it'll be us assholes that are on life support being like, I didn't fucking see that guy in Thanksgiving 2019.
He threw 4 picks.
Gave away the game.
Yeah.
Four picks. Garbage time. Fantasy player. You know, it's like...
Yeah.
So... Yeah. More credence, you have to watch the game, but...
Yeah. I feel like...
I don't know.
There's a couple guys that could go here, and I'm not super confident in this pick, but, you know, man, what would the Giants do? I feel like this is what the Lions would do, all right, you know what? Jonah Williams, guard, Alabama, /tackle.
Jonah Williams. All right.
Yeah, because the last couple years they've usually stuck with interior linemen in the first round. Pretty safe picks, you'd think. And not really most of them have worked out that well. And I feel like they're going to go in saying, well, Matt Stafford's a heck of a good quarterback. He's our guy. We got to protect him. And they like players from big name schools. They like big school guys, especially linemen. So I feel like this is just kind of their bullshit safe, we'll plug him in. He's probably too small to be a tackle. A little too short maybe, so they might just plug him in at guard, and I don't know. I feel like this is the Lions pick, so I'm doing it.
I like it.
And I like Jonah Williams a lot. I'm not trying to say it's bad.
It feels very like if they pick Jonah Williams, I'd be like, you know what? Perfect. I always judge my picks from the division, like at like on a how scared am I, like oh shit level.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine with me. Jonah Williams, here we go. Jesse 96231 calling into the pod and said,
"Go ahead, Jesse.
Jets, go after this kid. We need to build a solid wall in front of Darnold. Mark my words, he's a future all-star."
All-star? Wow.
An all-star. Yeah.
He's gonna jump
he's
sports.
An all-star. Huh? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Multiple all-star.
Look, he's not going to be good enough to make the Pro Bowl, but he's going to be an all-star. He's going to play in the all-star
Jonah Williams,
game.
little known fact, great hoops player.
Yeah, really good.
Great hoops player.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
So
really underrated. No, I think I would love if Jonah Williams fell to the Vikings. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he's kind of your prototypical guard. I think he could be a really, really good guard in the league. And yeah, I mean, this might be a little bit of reach. Some people might see it as that, but hey, that's what the Lions do, man.
I like it, man.
All right, well, with that, then with the 9th pick, the Buffalo Bills are on the clock.
Okay, so, oh god, the Bills. This is another just, who the fuck knows? I think,
because they have Josh Allen, who they claim they feel like as if they're franchise quarterback, and they're just, they almost had Antonio Brown for about 30 minutes, and they have Kelvin Benjamin eating cheeseburgers back there,
right.
And a rapidly aging Shady McCoy.
I can hear you trying to talk me into an offensive player.
What? Me? No. What?
Here's the deal. The Bills Mafia will be selecting.
Oh no.
Will be selecting Mr. Devin White of LSU.
Damn it.
Devin White, LSU, interior linebacker. I was actually really annoyed. So, once again, insider baseball here. Luke and I talking about the draft.
Yeah, doing
last night.
Little
pretty pissed off when I said, "Hey, who are your guys? Who are you liking?" What? He's like, "Man, I really like that linebacker, that Devin White guy." And I was like, "Fuck, man! That's my guy too."
Yep.
So
yeah, he's our favorite
probably
player.
The one guy that I watched and I was like, whoa,
right?
This guy.
Yeah, he just jumped off. His film literally jumped off the screen. You're like, holy shit!
And that's one of those really I hate that term, but it's actually true. It's the playmaking and his he's got Sammy Sosa pythons for arms.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, this pencil this guy in, pencil him in. I was on stage. I was pencil him in. 12 years, pencil him in. So, it feels very Billsy to me. He's going to be really good, but
probably
maybe
he'll be
make that much of a difference on the Bills.
He'll be too good for the Bills.
It'll be one of those kind of sad things where it's like, oh,
I love Devin White, but
oh god, yeah,
they lose all those games.
Yeah,
but he's really cool.
So, okay, so this one was, wow, this comment really makes no sense. This is from Jared Johnson, and it almost sounds like he spelled his own name wrong. It's spelled Jerid, Jared.
What?
So, Detroit Ford Lions, get this guy. Stafford is fine. Let's get a quarterback for that defense.
Oh man, I
That got
missed it.
17 likes.
I wish Jared would have told me that earlier.
So I think it's weird. I don't know why he starts it with Detroit Ford Lions.
Yeah, I don't.
Detroit Ford Lions get this guy.
Or Ford Field.
There's no like. Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't. Ford Lions get this guy, and then like comma Stafford is fine, comma let's apostrophe s let's that's wrong. So it's get a quarterback for the defense. So I think he's assuming is Devin White's a shot caller for dude.
Yeah.
And he just said, "Hey, let's get a quarterback for the defense." Like, great sentence.
Yeah, there we go. We can all get behind that.
But again, or I'm not positive. Jared might have spelled his own name wrong there, but that's YouTube, baby.
Yeah, I'm not ruling it out.
He spelled it wrong, and he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
So, Devin White.
All right.
My pick.
I respect
Moving
it.
on.
That feels right there. It honestly does. So then with the 10th pick, the Broncos are on the clock. And with Devin White off the board, I think I know where they would go. This seems to fit fairly well. I think the Broncos are going to take tight end TJ Hawkinson out of Iowa.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because
I was thinking quarterback here.
Well, no, they're set, dude. They're set for the next 10 years, dude. So
I was thinking they draft a tall-ass quarterback.
They already got one.
Like the tallest. No, they want a taller quarterback.
Oh, even taller?
They want a taller,
well,
like with an even longer face.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. So, TJ Hawkinson, he's a great player in this draft. I think everybody has him rated very highly. And you could see why. He's a really good tight end, and he's more of your classic prototypical tight end. He's not one of these big athletic guys where they're like, oh, I don't know if this guy can block.
I kind of think he is more athletic guy.
I don't see him that way, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I see him more as
he looks like a wide receiver to me. He looks like a big wide receiver.
Yeah. I could see that.
Like he looks
but
like
he's not
what
afraid.
Kelvin Benjamin should be.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean, he's not. Yeah, but
like I don't see him as like an inline blocker.
He's a really good blocker.
Right, but his frame is not like.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll put on weight. He will.
But no, I really love this pick though.
So I mean, it makes sense. He's clearly the best player available at this point, I think. And even with the short term, Joe Flacco, his highest completion percentage, most touchdowns, everything goes to the tight end. So if he can have a consistent tight end to throw to, that Joe's going to be a happy boy. And even if on the off chance that Joe Flacco isn't your long-term option, then you have a guy who could potentially be, as one of our previous commenters said, an all-star at the tight end position for a long time.
Yes.
And like if you get a young quarterback, if Joe Flacco doesn't work out, you have Phillip Lindsay there, a really good young running back, and then you have a consistent tight end, which young quarterbacks love, and not very good quarterbacks love Joe Flacco. So yeah, I think that's an easy pick, safe pick, best player available, fills a need, boom.
This one's really good. Okay. Jurin, this heat is your limit, which sounds like something an anime character would say. This heat is your limit. So I already respect it. TJ Hawkinson, as a Ravens fan, and this is plural Ravens, and this is a theme throughout the sentence. All of these teams are plural. I would love to see him as a Packers or Bills player.
Wow. Okay.
Packers or Bills player. It would be interesting to see him as a Broncos
Hey.
I would not be surprised if he is a Broncos because they don't have a tight end.
Jeez.
So they don't have one.
They just don't have any of them, huh?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look that up because Durin said it. So I don't need to actually look that up. But yeah, they don't have a tight end on the team. So actually, this is a need for the Broncos.
I see.
And I would also I think it would be interesting to see him as a Broncos.
Yeah, as one of the he would be a single Broncos, a great single Broncos player.
He would, and as a fan of an AFC team, he would love to see him on an NFC team or another AFC team, but also it'd be interesting on another AFC team. So that's
hot take.
He's kind of all over the place, but you know I respect it.
Yeah, he casts a wide net. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. So then, with the 11th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock.
Woo! Cincinnati.
Now this could be very interesting. Now this is really where you could really go in a lot of different directions here, and
is this gonna be
I'm excited. I think so.
Is this going to be interesting?
I mean, I could see it being very interesting.
Because I don't think it's that interesting. I think it's pretty boring. I think you just pencil in the best player in the draft, Drew Lock.
What? No way. Lock. You're putting Drew Lock at 11? You think Cincy's going to take him?
Drew Lock, Cincinnati. Get the redheaded guy out of here. Get him out of here.
All right.
It's Drew Lock time, baby. I didn't know who Drew Lock was until someone compared him to Jay Cutler, and then I immediately had to do all of the Drew Lock research, and I can't agree more. He doesn't. It takes a certain type of player to not really have the footwork, but also then look like you don't really even care about having the footwork. That's what separates Jay Cutler from many other quarterbacks who haven't had good footwork. You actually have to physically look like you don't care. What? So what? I got a cannon for an arm.
Wow.
And Drew Lock. I would have mocked Drew Lock to the Broncos unless they wanted a taller quarterback, in which case that would be Daniel Jones.
Sure.
We got some really incredible comments here. Drew Lock be in the Broncos. So he's in the Broncos. Brighton Barnes too. Dude, with the time he gets in the pocket, I could jerk one off and deliver a dime.
What? Jesus. Okay.
Zach Mont 4, TBH. We don't really know if he'll do good or bad in the NFL.
Or bad.
We've seen great college players do meh in the NFL or do great.
Yeah.
We've seen decent college players do great in the NFL or do meh, etc., etc. We don't really know the outcome with these players, so I'll wait until they actually play a few rounds in the NFL. However, from what I've seen so far, this dude is not too bad.
Wow.
So that guy just sounds like a pain in the ass, and I would hate to be friends with him, so that guy can just go fuck himself.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
This one was a great one. Nick Salomon said, back when I played volleyball with him in high school, I remember how strong his arm was back then.
What?
Thinking, man, he could make it to the NFL, and here he is, almost. Hope he does good.
Wow, what the fuck? Okay.
God.
Yeah,
he has great field vision, but somewhat... Oh, wait, no, that's not even... Sorry, that's Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. That's all I got for Drew Lock. There was a lot of great comments about Drew Lock, and I felt like I got the majority there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm not a big Drew Lock guy. I don't really see it. If I was an NFL GM, president, coach, I I wouldn't take him in the first round. That's just me. But I've been wrong a lot of times before. But I mean, I get his arm, I get his his quick release, but yeah, I just don't see it. I'm not a huge fan of his, so I really hope he has a career like Jay Cutler. That would really make me proud. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
So
I've been working on my novel, my Gruden fan fiction novel. And I had a line in there where he looks across the table to Mike, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, lock it in."
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Right?
Isn't
that like the most Gruden thing?
Yeah.
Like, he would be the one guy who would like make a pun out of their draft pick, like, "Hey, Mike, let's get on the phone.
Hey, Mike,
lock it in.
Let's lock it in.
Lock it in. Let's lock it in."
That makes my
I can see, like, how they have those like hidden camera footage of like the war room,
yep.
and you can just kind of hear some stuff, and it just God, I want it so bad. Sorry.
It's okay. That lock it in. I could also very visually see it, and it I think that makes my taint tingle. You tingled my taint right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, with that being said, so we'll move right along here to the Green Bay Packers being on the clock for the 12th pick. So this is an interesting one. I could also see this going a lot of different ways. Mike McCarthy's gone. That guy who had brunch with God, what's his name?
Who are you referring to?
We'll cut all this out. The fucking, what the fuck is his name? The Rams head coach.
The coach?
Rams head coach.
LaFleur?
No. The Rams head coach.
Oh, McVay?
Yeah, Sean McVay. There we go. So
yeah.
The Packers coach. The joke I was making was that the Packers coach had a brunch with Sean McVay, so then they hired him based off that. So I blew it. So. But don't worry, Josh. Do you want to mark the time, and we'll edit that back. We'll add like a laugh track to it and stuff. Okay. Right. So with the 12th pick, like I said, they go a lot of different ways, but I feel like if I'm looking at who's available here and who I think the Packers, based on who they've taken in the past, I could see them taking Devin Bush here out of Michigan.
Okay.
Linebacker, Clay Matthews is gone.
Interesting.
And I feel like that's kind of their pick. He feels like a zone. He kind of fits in that zone blitz kind of scheme they run. And he's a little bit small, but this feels like a very Packers pick to me. So I'm doing Devin Bush.
Okay. Do you think he plays well in a 3-4? Because it makes sense, because their like interior line, like not their edge guys, have been their interior guys have been garbage for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's there's a no-name random white guy that
Blake Martinez
rotates in and out.
I'm pretty sure his name is Blake Martinez.
Everyone's like, wow, this Martinez guy, and I'm like, no, he's not.
No, he's not. He's really not.
All of these guys are awful.
Yeah, no, they're not good. Yeah.
So, that makes sense, and it would be interesting to see them prioritize that, and that seems like a good pick.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think too, because thanks, man, I appreciate that. We don't.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I do have a good job.
Thanks, Devin Bush, he's one of those guys where you watch and you're like, yeah, he's good, but unfortunately, a lot of people have been like, oh, but he's maybe just as good as Devin White, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's not even close. Shut up. So, unfortunately, every time I've watched him play, I've kind of compared him to Devin White. Not really fairly to him, but anyway, yeah. So
right.
that feels right. So then, moving right along to the Fitzmat. Oh, wait. Do we have a comment for Devin Bush at all?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Joe Shawcroft says, "I love the way he plays." Period.
Wow. Okay.
High motor, comma, high effort. Period. Already he's like winning like a Pulitzer for this grammar. Would love the Broncos to draft him. Period. Not as good of a sentence for a guy touted as a 3-down elbower linebacker. Though I didn't see many highlights of coverage, that's concerning. So he wanted to see some like coverage highlights there. So
that's kind of on the editor, I think, more than the
right. Yeah. So he could have watched. It's not like Devin Plish played for like IUPUI. He went to Michigan.
Wow. Right. Yeah, that's very true.
He's on TV a lot.
Yeah. So I think he'll probably be okay.
Yeah. You could have watched some games.
Yeah, that's kind of on you at that point. If you really wanted to see more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great point.
So there we go.
So at lucky number 13, the Fitzmagic-led Miami Dolphins are on the clock.
Miami Dolphins, drum roll. I'm going with Daniel Jones, quarterback.
What? Before Dwayne Haskins?
Yes, I believe that Haskins is better than Locke or Daniel Jones. But again, this is what I think is going to happen.
Damn.
And what I think is going to happen is that the dopey guy from Duke who's too tall to be a quarterback. He's too tall, John Elway. Is going to go before Haskins, and this is just going to start one of those crazy, like, oh my god, Haskins. Is he going to drop to round 2? Is he going to, what's going on? He's starting to call his agent. His parents they're parents, kids are starting to get a little rowdy. Like, they're starting to go bathroom break, all that. Unzip the jacket, and there you have Daniel Jones, who I don't really understand it. So, oh god, you might have another burner here. So apparently Daniel Jones, his like coach was Peyton Manning's coach, and so people are like, all like, this guy could be the one. Let me just throw it to my commenters, because they have the real knowledge here. Like, what the fuck do I know, right?
Yeah.
Ace Solomon says, "Wow, I have no idea why all caps. I've been reluctant on the Giants going after this guy. I had to watch this guy's tape when Gil Brand said he looked like Peyton Manning, and he wasn't kidding." So,
you think that's me?
That was one. No, you're coming up.
Oh, okay.
This is like probably the best comment I found of all these. Brad Strayer said, "Looks like Josh Allen, but with better accuracy." Which I just love, because like Josh Allen is like historically not accurate, so it's like, okay.
So he's just like a more of a normal quarterback.
Yeah, just average accuracy.
Yeah.
Like
anything really is better than Josh Allen.
Looks like Steve Young, but with better accuracy. It's like, okay, well that's like something. I don't know.
Okay.
Something I haven't seen.
Yeah, but
this
Steve
is yours.
Young.
Okay. This is your burner. Cody Dugan. Cody Dugan, is that you?
The Doogs.
That's probably you. I had to look up both of these guys, and it just I had like a laugh attack. He looks like Steve Grogan or Jack Trudeau.
Oh my god. I know who those guys are.
These are guys Luke probably knows. And I had to look them up to see if they were like football players. And it's like Steve Grogan played for like the Pats in the 90s.
I was gonna say Elvis Gerbach too. You could throw him in there.
Well, Elvis Gerbach I've at least heard of.
You've at least heard of.
Steve Grogan and Jack Trudeau, like, to have both of those, like, he thought of just two very obscure references,
I love it.
And he's like, it's
Love
like a mixture of, so that was, that might have been like the comment of
great.
the pod right there.
Wow.
But if that's, you can take credit for that if
I'm
you
going
want,
to.
but,
100%
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, it's like, you got me.
Yeah. God damn it, they found me out.
Yeah. So there you go. Daniel Jones, that's the official L Squared pod. He's like a young Steve Grogan.
Yep. Jesus. That's great.
Yeah. So there you go, YouTube.
Okay. Wow. I'm gonna watch some fucking Steve Grogan highlights tonight.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta go back to the tape.
Yep. I gotta find it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he played for the Patriots. Yeah, so now with the 14th pick, the Falcons are on the clock. Oh, do I have any thoughts about Daniel Jones? Not really. I'm kind of in the camp where I feel like he's more of a backup quarterback. He kind of feels like Mike Glennon to me a little bit.
Ooh, I like that comp too.
Yeah, so that's just like on tape, you're like, okay, yeah, he looks good. But then he gets in the league.
Tall guy who can't play.
Right, exactly. Yes. A little more athletic than Mike Glennon. So that's kind of like saying a more accurate Josh Allen because Mike Glennon isn't athletic. So, that's it.
Less athletic.
He's like a less athletic Cam Newton. That's kind of what I see. Yeah. But yeah, so with the Falcons at number 14. I'm not really sure where to go here. I think my gut is telling me one thing of what I think the Falcons are going to do, but I just don't know. This is interesting. I think
I have a guy in mind, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm just going, if I'm the Falcons, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with my gut. Christian Wilkins, D tackle out of Clemson. That's what I'm going.
Okay.
That's where I'm going. Safe pick.
I was thinking Gary there, Rashawn Gary, D tackle, Michigan.
I was thinking that too, but
because it seemed a little bit more like Falconsy, like athletic guy who's maybe production is a little lower than, but Wilkins actually like better as a prospect.
I do too.
Yeah. Like, all of those Clemson's dudes, I swear I saw him play like 20 games, and they were all like, God, like, every one of these dudes are like in the backfield every freaking play. So, all of these guys should be in the first round.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, Clemson, hot take, Clemson's got a heck of a program down there, but
right, breaking news.
They just spit out defensive lineman prospects, like DNs, D linemen, outside line, just fucking spit them out. I love it, but I don't know. I could see either one. I could see either one, but just my gut just tells me Christian Wilkins, so I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So,
and in the off chance that he doesn't go to Atlanta, which is probably not true because our sources are pretty well.
You're right. We have people in almost every camp. Yeah. But
Tyler Rominger thinks he's going to the Colts on like half of the mock drafts that I've seen, and I'm completely fine with that. Frank Reich is a mastermind, and he would get him in on some goal line formations. Let's go Colts. So
that's a true fan right there.
So that guy is he wants Wilkinson for those goal line formations. So
and that's it. That's worth a first round pick. Yeah.
First round pick for that.
For that one formation.
Defensive tackle H-back formation. That's. Yep. I mean, yeah. So who needs kickers, right?
Right. Exactly.
We got Christian Wilkins lining up, so I like it. Yeah.
So,
who's next?
With the 15th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins are now on the clock.
So
So this is another one that could kind of go a lot of different ways.
Let's see.
Now remember that, this, again, I don't know if we'll do this here, you don't have to, but a lot of people are thinking maybe, Josh Rosen could be traded to one of these places, and Washington is a place that could potentially want to make that deal. But I mean, obviously I don't know that, but.
Right. And I'm thinking, okay. So you're gonna think I'm crazy here, but
I already do.
Washington is historically bad franchise. They're one of the dumbest franchises in the league.
They're one of the dumbest franchises that have a storied history and actually have championships.
Yes.
So they have a really storied past, but then they're also really dumb at the same time.
Yes. And I preference that because I'm trying to think of what would they do. And over the grapevine, over the Twitterverses, over the whatever you call it, I'm hearing some buzz. And what I'm hearing is that a certain quarterback is picking up some first-round steam, and that quarterback's name is Will Greer.
No.
Quarterback, West Virginia.
That would not
Let's
happen.
go. He's sexy.
That would
He's
not
so
happen.
sexy. It's happening. It's happening. Just Google his face. Look at his face. Look at his face.
I don't think I want to.
No, it's happening. And then this automatically this propels the Haskins thing into oh my God, what's wrong with Haskins? What's wrong with Haskins?
Jeez. People
People are starting to Google Haskins gas mask bong, trying to figure out what the deal is.
Well, fuck, man.
So Will Greer to the Redskins. This feels very Redskins.
Wow.
And I'm sticking with it. I love it. It's my favorite pick so far.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, then.
I feel like my picks have led to. Dude, the Vikes, man. Your Vikings are going to have some dudes on the board.
They are, yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully here. Yeah. You know what? This is tough, though, because at 16, with the Panthers being on the clock, yeah, I mean, I feel like they could go a couple different ways here. Man, this is tough. Man, I know of a couple kind of sexy picks that are a little bit reachy. I just don't know. Because the Panthers...
Don't you dare reach after my Will Greer pick.
Because the Panthers...
You're not allowed to.
We're only allowed one reach. Because the Panthers are kind of a weird franchise when it comes to drafting. They do okay. If you look at their first-round picks, last couple of years...
Gettleman.
Yeah, I mean...
Gettleman was their GM who's allergic to picking any skill position.
Because he picked... Kelvin Benjamin and, Shaq Thompson and, Christian McCaffrey was the good one. But it's, I don't know. This is tough. Because, you know what? I'm just gonna, this could go a couple different ways, but I'm just gonna say they're gonna reach. And they're gonna go for fucking DK Metcalf.
Oh, I like it.
They want to give Cam a big target. He may only be able to run one route, but that's okay. I think they're gonna get coaxed into it, and they're gonna give Cam that guy. Now, is he a true number one receiver? No, not right now. He can run about one, maybe two routes, but if you put him in those positions, I just feel like they could take him here. So there we go.
Yeah, I agree. I really don't see it with DK Metcalf, especially the way that the NFL is played. You look at who are the most dominant receivers. It's not DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf can't do the things that an Antonio Brown does. Granted, again, scheme, fit, all that. If you're looking for like a tall Ted Ginn, I guess.
Right. With guns.
Yeah, I mean that's something. I don't know. Who's the guy for the Texans? He's always kind of hurt. Will Fuller. Will Fuller. Yeah, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Will Fuller.
That's
is that
interesting.
an okay comp?
Yeah, no, I love that comp. I actually heard it the other day. Somebody made it, and I was like, that's really good because Will Fuller can only run a few routes, and he's definitely like he's a specific type of player where you can't just put him on the field, and he's not like, when the Texans had Andre Johnson, you can put him wherever and just throw him the ball 60 times. He's not that kind of guy. He can run like a deep flag and a deep post.
He feels like one of those guys that you're gonna have him on your fantasy team, and he's not quite bad enough to just drop outright, and so he's just gonna be on your roster, and you're gonna play him 6 out of the 16 weeks, and he's gonna put up probably zeros.
Yeah,
because you never guess the 2 times that he scores 2 touchdowns on 3 receptions and 104 yards. But I don't know. I'm not terribly sold on DK Metcalf. I know you're totally right that he is going to go higher than he should, just based on
his combine,
the Instagram post and his combine and all of that.
Yeah.
I love some comments here. So Waddle D says, in all caps, and I couldn't agree more, slower 3-cone than Tom Brady. And I don't know if that's true. It's on the internet, so I'm guessing it is true. But I know that his lateral quickness and agility were bottom of the combine, for wide receivers anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I agree. I think he was slower than Tom. I was actually on my clock he was slower, but who knows?
Right. And you were there. You were there in Indianapolis for both. So
right. And then this comment was just kind of special to you and me, being a Bears fan and a Vikings fan. Joel Johnson pointed out, just like Kevin White and Laquan Treadwell, I'm not making this up.
Wow. Did we just make a burner account together?
Yeah. We've been sharing this account on YouTube. I'm not making this up. You might think I'm making up some of these comments. These are not made up. You can go on the internet. They're there. Just like Kevin White and Laquan Treadwell, only running 1, maybe 2 routes in college. But most guys like this, they struggle to run routes in the NFL. Okay, the letter U, can't just rely. So he's talking to me now. Okay, I can't rely on brute strength and size anymore. I have to know. And he switched it around. He didn't say you. Now he's at I. I have to know how to run routes to play in the NFL, period. So Joel Johnson himself needs to know how to run routes. So he's not even talking about DK Metcalf anymore. But
yeah, sometimes you
really
just got to know.
I appreciated that whole comment. That was
yeah. Sometimes you just need self-reflection and need to know when you have to be the one who needs to run better routes. But yeah, no, so, that's like when
he's speaking to me. He's like, you have to know how to rely. You can't rely on brute strength, and I need to work on my route running.
Right.
So there you go.
You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But no, I love he does feel a lot like Laquan Treadwell to me, and obviously I've been burned by that. But
that got 5 legs. So there are 4 other people in the world that were like, you know what, this guy's got a point.
Well, 2 of those came from you and my individual YouTube accounts.
Yeah. So we can, besides
really
us writing it. So there's actually,
There's 3, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
I like it.
With the 17th pick, the New York Giants are on the clock.
Gettleman. Think the most Gettleman pick there is.
Dude, there's no way it's Dwayne Haskins. He's not taking Dwayne Haskins here. We both know that.
There's no way. This is Rashawn Gary all the way.
I was just going to say that. Not even kidding.
Gary comes off the board here. Athletic freak, highly touted #1 guy coming out of the high school ranks. This guy is, again, he's like an Instagram 6-pack, like just freak of freaks. 4.5 40, blows up the combine, does exactly what you think he was. The only problem is doesn't really like make a lot of football plays. Doesn't tend to disappear. Doesn't sack the quarterback. Doesn't get in the backfield. Just kind of So this is a coach him up pick.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Coach him up and hope for the best, right?
Yep. Hey, it worked out for Danielle Hunter on the Vikings. He was just kind of an athletic freak. Played 1 year and
not to say that that these guys can't work out and that maybe again you want to see. He's coach under Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's a good coach, no matter what people say. He's more of like a meme now, but I really do think he's a good coach, even though he can't beat Ohio State to save his life. This feels like Gary here. I think they'd be completely happy. So this completes the Odell Beckham trade. So congratulations, you traded one of the best players in the league for Rashawn Gary. Good luck.
Good luck.
And Eli Manning is still your starting quarterback. So moving on.
Yeah. So then that brings. Wait, were there any comments with that?
Oh yeah. God dang it.
Yeah, dang it.
Sure, there was a great one here. I don't. This is from Rezu. I don't care what his stats are. So this guy's like, this guy's don't care.
This guy's a wild card.
I don't care what his stats are. This dude moves like a panther. He will be a monster that can line up anywhere on the line. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
I just kind of like that. I've never heard anyone say like he can move like a panther. I thought he was like a Panthers fan or something, or he was going to be like, go Panthers, hope the Panthers pick him. But it's just I've never heard that, so I kind of want to say that. I don't know.
He's a panther.
Like, wow, that guy like moves like a fucking panther out there.
Yeah.
He's like from Wakanda or something. He's like a
black one.
He's like a comic book character. So that's Rashawn Gary.
Very two-dimensional. Okay. Well, so then that brings us to. There's a lot of pressure on me now at the number 18 pick. The Minnesota Vikings are on the clock.
Here we go. There's a couple cornerbacks.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I just fucking swear to God, we're not taking a goddamn corner. I will.
Grady Williams.
Grady Williams is out there.
Got some real blue chippers there out on the edge. You gotta.
So this is basically between two guys for me, I think, and. This is tough, but I'm not going to take a corner. There's no way. Byron
Murphy.
No. Absolutely no way. I'm going Garrett Bradbury, center, NC State.
Oh!
Yes.
I like it.
Because this guy is my favorite lineman in the class. He's definitely he's a great center. He could easily play center. He would play center. You could put him at guard, but honestly, on the Vikings, he would be a much better center. He's a little bit small, so he'll struggle right away with power guys, with big dudes. Like if we, I don't know. So he has to put on some weight, which obviously he's going to have to. But great feet, great knee bending. He's got quick hands. He's good in pass protection, but he's great in run blocking. So I could take there's a couple guys we could have taken here, but obviously Andre Dillard. But I just feel like Garrett Bradbury fits what we do more, and if you have that staple at center, then we could put Elflein at guard, and then it just kind of stabilizes.
It almost
that line,
sounds like you want to just pencil him in.
I do. I really do.
You want to pencil him in. That's a day one starter.
Oh, easy.
Day one starter. Pencil him
10,
in.
12 years, easy, dude.
10, 12 years. I love it. I don't have any comments for this guy. So
You didn't see any of my burner account comments?
I didn't watch any Bradbury tape, so that's on me.
You're missing out, man.
But yeah,
all right.
I like it.
Okay. Well, then, with the 19th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
Okay. Titans. What do the Titans do?
So I have listed for needs. I have defensive tackle, edge rusher, tight end, wide receiver, offensive lineman.
The Titans will select.
You know what? I think that. Don't forget that I think they're going to put in a new kind of offense. It's going to be the read option, but what they're going to do is they're going to have their Marcus Mariota at quarterback, and they're going to have Ryan Tannehill at running back, and then they're going to run the option. So Mariota can keep it, or he can pitch back to Tannehill, and then Tannehill can keep it, or he can throw it to Mariota. They're going to be the only two guys in the field. But I'm just saying that's going to happen. So
I hear you, and I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know if that adds any insight at all.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a little cop out here, and I'm gonna pencil him in another Clemson defensive lineman. We're going Clelin Ferrell here. Clelin Ferrell, defensive end. Another one of my favorite players here. This is a guy that I swear to God I've seen him play like 20 games. It's probably a thing where Clemson's just really good and they're on TV all the time. And I see these guys in the backfield every stinking play. But again, big defensive end, power defensive end. I just think he's going to be good. I could see him maybe going higher. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not like one of those like super athletic, like the Josh Allen Sweat freaks, but like someone who just seems like he's going to be good. So
yeah, for sure. Interesting.
Yeah. So Clelin Ferrell, Alan Orozoko says he looks strong as hell with some long arms. He just doesn't look fast enough. More of a big end than and then he puts this in quotes, a Leo. I don't really know what a Leo is. I like how he keeps his arms extended though. Good player.
Yeah.
So Leo, is that like a?
That's like the left.
Left end O, like Leo, like
left
linebacker end. Linebacker end is like a an end that stands up or something like a.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's stupid.
So obviously he's not one of those because that's not the position that he plays. He's a defensive end. But thank you, Alan.
Thank you for your input, though.
So yeah, that was that one. I thought that was kind of funny. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
But he seemed really confident about it.
That's all that really matters.
Right. So, what do we got next?
Well, then, now at the number 20 pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock.
Okay.
So, they could go... Man, they could go a lot of different ways here. And, oh man, this is rough. This is really hard. Oh man. I don't know if this is too much of a chalk pick, but the Steelers are kind of hard to pin down because they can secretly draft well and they can also secretly not draft well. But just kind of based on the last year, which was such a mess for them, they do have James Conner fixed at running back. They have Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. Juju's probably going to be their number one receiver. They're just riding with Ben, it seems like, so they're just going to try and pump everything out of him. So, I think I don't really like making this pick, but I could easily see them doing it. I think they take Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown.
Boom.
Wide receiver.
I was I wanted to go Hollywood a few picks earlier. I just didn't feel like I quite had the fit right. I'm all in. I think he's the best wide receiver in the class.
Oh, yeah, same.
Bar none.
Yep.
I think he's the best playmaker in the class.
Yep.
I just think he's really good.
He is really good. He's fun to watch. I think that kind of like, not saying like Johnny Manziel's tape looked better because he was throwing to Mike Evans, who was making all kinds of great plays.
Right.
And I feel like it helped Kyler Murray, too, just having and Kyler, I'm not taking anything away from Kyler Murray, but I just think having that deep threat and having a guy who can literally stretch the field. Like, if you don't know what the term stretch the field means, just watch Hollywood Brown play. That's exactly what he does on almost every play. And he's confident, he's young, he's fun to watch. And I think that, with the Steelers, they lost Antonio Brown, obviously, but then they're just going to replace him with another young receiver named Brown. Just fast.
Yeah, it makes sense. The Steelers are historically, they're like a round 2, round 3 receiver that always just is really good for some reason.
Exactly. Yep.
If they did pick Hollywood Brown here, I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy's going to be insanely good because these guys never miss on wide receivers, it seems like.
Right.
And yeah, so just to piggyback those thoughts, Jarrell Kite. It seems like it's supposed to be Knight, but it's missing the N, so I'm just gonna go with Kite. Those genes are contagious. Hollywood is as dangerous as his cousin AB, which is incredible because I didn't know that genes could be contagious. I thought you were born with genes and that it was a hereditary thing where it's passed on through biology and science.
Hey, you're the doctor scientist here, not me.
Right. No, according to Jarrell, you can catch it. You can.
Interesting.
It's like a sickness, and it's actually So he wasn't related to AB prior to him being born, but he caught it. So
I see.
And then I have one more, P1 Raid King. With the current wide receiver lineup my Raiders have, I find it hard to believe we'll draft Hollywood Brown. We might go tight end or halfback. Okay. Instead, with one of our late first-round picks, or maybe go all defense in the first and pick up a halfback in the second, and hopefully re-sing Cook.
This guy sounds like he's on the pulse.
I feel like that might be John Gruden's burner. So,
damn.
Wow. I could just see the Raiders, their scouts, everyone that got sent home or whatever, and they just got an email, and this was Gruden, just kind of breaking it down for them, and these guys what the fuck is happening here? They're like, yeah, you guys are all going there. Cool.
Yeah, great. I can't fucking wait to get out of here.
Yeah, all right, see ya.
Damn, that's hilarious.
Moving on.
So, with the 21st pick, the Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. Now, we still have Andre Dillard.
Yes, that's actually my pick, Andre Dillard.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's an easy one.
Andre Dillard, again, he's my favorite tackle in the class. I think I already said it with like his pass blocking prowess. He's had more reps than anyone in the country, and he's really good at it. And yeah, the Seahawks are. I feel like it's one of those stupid things where people are like, "Oh yeah, Seahawks ground and pound, baby." Like it's like that's not really what they do anymore.
Right.
Like that was like it's like a thing where people are just like they're using information from 5 years ago. Those are completely different teams.
Yeah.
And they have Russell Wilson. And
very true.
Russell Wilson runs around a lot, and he passes a lot, and it just makes more sense to just protect that guy that they just gave $1 billion to. So, Andre Dillard, easy.
Boom. All right, pencil him in.
Pencil him in. And I got one here, Garrett Lyskmacki. Andre Dillard and Brian O'Neill would make a great bookend tackles for the Vikings. Dillard would start on day one at left tackle. Was that you?
No, because I had the chance to take Dillard, and I didn't. So it couldn't be me.
All right,
clearly it's not.
Brian O'Neill? Brian, are you high on him? Brian O'Neill?
Brian O'Neill? No.
Is he a great bookend tackle?
No, he's not. He came in last year, and he didn't play well. You know, he was a young guy, looked overwhelmed. He got overpowered all the time, and he wore number 75. Now, I don't want any other Vikings tackles to wear 75 anymore. It's just cursed. Quit wearing that number.
I think I picked one because I thought it was funny that he called them bookend tackles, because isn't it like bookend ends? Like bookend, like, you know, like guys that get after the passer.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like bookend tackles, like they're just going to like give up a ton of sacks to like, like speed rushers, man, are just going to really, really hammer these guys, these bookend tackles, man.
Easy.
So there you go.
Then with the 22nd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. And I know who my pick is, but if Clelin Ferrell was still on the board, I would take him here, but obviously he's not. So they lost a couple.
Can't do that.
They lost a bunch of key pieces on defense, and the Ravens obviously love their defense. So I think just based on who's available here, I think the Ravens take Jeffrey Simmons, D-tackle out of Mississippi State.
Okay.
They like their big guys, and they lost a couple big guys, and Jeffrey Simmons just kind of he's kind of your pass rushing defensive tackle. He's explosive. He's got good, good pass rushing ability. He was arrested in 2016. He had a physical altercation with a woman, so you know that he knows how to use his hands. He's got good eye movement there. You know, you can tell he keeps his head on a swivel. So, Jeffrey Simmons, easy, Ravens. And the Ravens are not afraid.
Camera, so it's like it's never even happened.
Never happened. And the Ravens have no problem with with players who will get into trouble, who have murder raps. That's not an issue for them, clearly.
Right.
And I love that. Look at Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Stone cold killer, Joe Flacco. So.
And this is actually a really good Ravens-y pick because I don't have any comments for this guy. I didn't watch him. And he seems like one of those guys that is going to be really good in 4 years, and I'll have no idea who he is or where he came from or where he played football. It's it's like fucking Ravens defensive
like you won't,
guy.
You won't hear about him until it's like he misses the Pro Bowl, but everybody's like, man, you know who had a really great year? Fucking Jeffrey Simmons should have made it, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He had 10 sacks or whatever.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
All right. Well then. Moving right along, the 23rd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans are on the clock.
Houston Texans. Did they franchise Clowney, right?
That sounds right. Let me just double check on that for you.
I think they franchised Clowney, which makes me
Well,
which makes me
5 days ago, they said that the plan is still to sign Jadeveon Clowney to a long-term deal. Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay. I'm going to assume that it's Clowney Watt, and who knows if maybe they don't re-sign him to a long-term deal, but he's going to be on the team for the next year. So they don't go with an edge rusher here, and this is where.
You're right.
Okay. So in that case, I'm going. I think first secondary guy here. I'm going Byron Murphy. Quarterback, Washington.
Man, the Rick Spielman's pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed. He was looking to jump back in here to
get
grab.
To get him.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I didn't see any of these guys like measurables, like what he ran at the combine or anything like that. He looks like he's like the antithesis of Greedy Williams as far as. Like, he looks like a safety the way he hits and tackles, which, which, I mean, if he can cover, then he's feel like he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
So he kind of reminds me, I don't know if this is just, like, my bias, but he looks a little like one of the Fuller brothers, maybe, like a Kyle Fuller-esque, maybe a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
But that's my guy here, Byron Murphy, cornerback, Washington. I don't know if let's see. Oh yeah, okay here. Brian McFarland says him with Steven Nelson, Mark Barron, Joe Hayden, Sean Davis, and Artie Burns. Boy, Pittsburgh Steelers defense would be physical. Top 5 defense in the NFL for sure. I hope they draft Brian Murphy.
Okay.
He said Brian at the end there. So he said Brian like his name.
Yeah.
And then, he listed a bunch of guys, which I'm not really sure if any of those guys are any good. Like, Joe Hayden used to be good, but
the
Steelers defense was most certainly not a top 5 defense.
No. Yeah.
If he thinks Byron Murphy's gonna have him turn the corner, then
good on him. Yeah. Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, I like Byron Murphy. He's probably my favorite of these corners. He kind of plays the style of corner that I like. He could easily slip into that nickel pretty easily, and I said easily twice there. But the Texans lost.
He's a prototypical Spielman. Corner here. So just
I'm really scared about.
I'm prepping you.
But
I'm prepping you right now.
The Texans did lose Tyrann Mathieu to free agency. I think he signed with the Chiefs. So, Tyrann obviously played that safety spot. So he could maybe play a little safety, but, if you bring him
weird.
down
He looks like a safety, but I don't know.
He's a little small.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Right.
Again, I only watched maybe 45 seconds of YouTube clips. So, who knows? Maybe he's a quarterback. Maybe he's maybe he's a slot receiver. I don't know. So
this is a hard one for me with the 24th pick. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock. Get to pick for that.
Oh, this is an easy one. You could fucking pick anyone.
Yeah. So it's hard because I feel like it could be.
Lock it in. Mike's like, Drew Lock has already been picked. He's been off the board for.
Can we take Drew Lock again? Can they only be picked once? Or
Mike,
do we have a second
Mike, you're not hearing me. Drown out all the noise. I sent everyone else home. Lock it in. Tell you what, bud. Go ahead and lock it in.
Yeah.
It's like you really just wanted to say that, didn't you?
So I feel like the Raiders could take Irv Smith Jr. here at tight end, but with Noah Fant on the board, if Noah Fant's on the board right here, I think there's no way the Raiders don't take him. So I'm putting Noah Fant there. Okay.
I was thinking maybe a little Brian Burns. Has he gone off our board yet?
No, he's still
available.
There. Yeah.
Okay. He felt a little Raiders-y to me, but Yeah.
Hey, the Raiders aren't done yet.
Right. Yeah. Bryant Turner. I hope my Patriots snag Mr. Noah Fantastic here. And he like put a little hyphen in between all of those.
I see what he did there, yeah.
I missed having the 2 tight end duo we used to have years ago.
Don't mention it.
So, yeah, he didn't go full Aaron Hernandez, but he's also, I don't think he knows that Gronk retired there. Yeah. So
let's not break it
even
to him.
Even if they do pick Font, unless, I don't know, like, if he's thinking Noah Font, Benjamin Watson, then...
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck me, right? Like,
exactly. Who's going to stop that?
I'm the idiot.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sitting here making fun of all these YouTubers, but actually, I'm the idiot. So, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, with the 25th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock.
Okay. Eagles. This one, a little bit tricky, but I think I'm good here. Cody Ford.
Okay.
Tackle out of Oklahoma. I feel like it's going to be a priority to protect Wentz. Like, maybe he's...
Yeah.
This is actually, like, he can't get hurt anymore. And their line is okay, but I feel like it's a bit overrated at this point.
It's just like when Jason Peters is healthy, they're really good because Jason Peters is an all-time great, but he's barely ever healthy.
Right. And I don't know that you can necessarily rely on that. Like we said, I like Lane Johnson too, but
Lane Johnson's a right tackle. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Cody Ford is the pick here, and I think, I don't know, maybe it's not a tackle, but I think they go somewhere along the lines of an offensive lineman. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then Fisher Thomas, bruh, you saying he need to do this, do that, and then guess what again, do that, his O-line coach, the best in the nation.
Wow.
Bruh, you saying you need to do this, do that, and then guess what? Do this, his O-line coach, the best in the nation. Did I, nail it that time? It's kind of hard.
The second time was better, yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. Cody Ford.
Easy. Yeah.
That was really solidifying, wow, I'm getting dumber here. I'm trying to figure this out.
That's great.
And, yeah. So, who we got next?
All right, so
we're getting close.
We're getting closer. Only a couple picks off here. So with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock. And looking at who we got available, I think this is an easy pick. I think they take Dexter Lawrence out of Clemson. Easy. Clemson, D tackle. Pencil him in. Put him in there. Done. That's a big need for him. It's the right spot. He's really, really good against a run. And, I think that's an easy pick.
Yeah. I didn't have any comments for you on Dexter Lawrence, but again, some of these Clemson dudes kind of blend together, and I don't doubt. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
These guys are all killers. So, yeah. I agree.
All right. Well, you get to put the Gruden hat on now with the 27th pick, the Oakland Raiders.
Finally. Oh, man. This is perfect.
This is perfect.
Here he goes. Drum roll. Making a splash. looks over across the room, gives Mayock a little wink, and he's like, "Hey, lock it in." And he's like, "We went over this when we picked last time."
Right,
Drew Lockheed.
He's still not available.
Yeah. Well, that other guy, he seems like a real grinder. Give me the Haskins guy.
No
Haskins,
way.
baby.
Fuck you.
Haskins.
Fuck you.
Let's go.
I'm not letting you do this.
Yes. This actually is probably pretty smart, right?
Yeah, it's probably too smart for the Raiders, but yeah. No, I mean, is Carr your guy? I mean, I don't think so, but
that's all that needs to be said, right? Haskins.
Yeah.
Haskins it is.
Yeah, I'm just mad because I was going to pick him with the Chargers to be the Phillips replacement, but that's fine.
Yeah. There's some all the quarterbacks. There's just like there's a common gold, but Vagrant. He has a very protracted windup, and when he's trying to throw the ball hard, he threw off balance a lot in these clips. Mobility just okay. Would like to see some more of his work when his line fails. Lots of really clean pockets. Has a bit of lift off some of his intermediate throws. ... So that guy's like the smart like YouTube commenter. Like he's looking to like start like a blog, and
yeah.
Let's get to the real like fun comments.
Yeah.
Go hard for home. To me, this dude is like another Warner Culpepper McNabb in their prime. Old-fashioned gunslingers with elite numbers and further proof he can be great if he's motivated. No doubt. I'm sold.
Okay.
So,
well, interesting.
Yeah. Haskins. 10 yes.
Yeah. You know, that seems like an Al Davis-y kind of pick. You know, if Marquise Brown isn't there, then just take the guy with the big arm. And, you know.
Big arm.
Yeah.
I actually really like Haskins. Do you like Haskins? Because I like Haskins.
I like him a lot. He's probably my favorite prospect of the quarterbacks.
Okay.
And
it took us till the 20s to we literally just Aaron Rodgers'd him.
We did, but that's good for him. Give him a chip on the shoulder. Yeah.
There it is.
But yeah. So then I love Haskins. I think he's a prototypical big guy, big arm, athletic. You know, maybe he'll be. You know, if they draft him, could he be better than Jamarcus Russell? I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
I don't know.
But with the 28th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select. Now, the Chargers last year took Derwin James, who's one of my favorite players in the league. Now, honestly, if I was starting an NFL franchise right now, I might build my team around him. He might be my first pick. I fucking love that guy. I think you could put him in any position. I'm really high on Derwin James. I think he's great.
So I'm gonna go ahead and then I'm gonna pencil it in. I'm gonna take Tom Brady number 2.
There you go.
So Derwin James, Tom Brady,
then Tom Brady. Yep.
And I'll see you in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm gonna go Greedy Williams. He comes off the board here.
All right.
That defense is good. They had a really good year last year, and I think that Greedy Williams I don't think he's quite a number one corner. I don't think you can match him up against your number one guy, but they have Casey Hayward at the one corner spot who's been an all-pro the last couple of years. And so I think if you put Greedy in the slot or on the other side, you can kind of let him take more chances. And with Derwin James back there, I think that would be a really good spot for Greedy, and I think that he could really excel there. So boom.
Yeah, and so I agree. I think Greedy Williams could be good in the sense that if you have a man scheme and you need somebody to cover, he's a great cover corner.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I don't really the tackling thing doesn't bother me as much because I really, really I value guys who can cover over the guy who's like really good at tackling but can't cover.
Yeah, I mean, look at
I mean, NFL, you know,
yeah,
that guy's a grinder. He's like a real like hard nosed great tackler, and then he's just getting crushed over the top by
me being a Vikings fan forever. Antoine Winfield, you know, he's one of the best of all time tackling corners, but like he's short, and yeah, he would get beat over the top quite a bit. And I loved him. He's a great player, but it's like, yeah, I would rather have Darrelle Revis and obviously like Deion Sanders than Antoine Winfield, just to be honest. But
yeah. And also, Justin Hosino, if the Steelers don't select Byron Murphy, Devin Bush, or Greedy Williams, I'll buy everyone who likes this post a jersey of their choice.
Wow.
And that got 81 likes, including my own. And I will be, I'll be ordering a number 100 Trubisky jersey because we're doing the triple digit thing. So you go.
I thought you were maybe going to go with your troll pick of the Jay Cutler Dolphins jersey.
Probably get pretty cheap right now.
It'd be nice for him if you did that.
I made my fantasy football finals, again, the worst conversation ever to have a podcast, with Jay Cutler on my team the entire year. And I plan on, if I can pick him again, I will. So there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Fantasy sucks.
Well,
who we got next?
Well, we're staying in that same division with the 29th pick. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock.
The Chiefs, who, breaking news. We're actually breaking news here on the L Squared podcast. The Chiefs just traded for.
Whoa.
Traded for
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Defensive end from the Seahawks and gave him a shitload of money.
Yeah.
So there you go. Frank Clark for D Ford, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much the same player in my eyes. They're very similar. So.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and that kind of throws a wrench into what I was thinking prior to Chiefs. They're starting to get like some like good teams.
I know, this is the tough part. Because I mean, you could an easy pick would be like, I don't know.
I think I'm going. No, wait, did we already pick that guy? No, I got it. Safety, Mississippi State, Jonathan Abram.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's a good pick.
Essentially filling the Chiefs were really, really bad. I was thinking some sort of secondary guy. I was probably going to go Greedy Williams if you didn't pick him right there. But
yeah.
I think anyone in their secondary, corner, safety, I don't even like rangy linebacker is good here. So just going best on the board, I think it's Jonathan Abrams. Yeah, that's basically all I got. I don't know if I have. Joshua Newman, ESPN talk about dude like he the next Ray Lewis. He can play defense. I give him that, but he ain't out here taking heads off. So
is he aware that they play different positions?
You know, I think we've gotten to the point where we just kind of have to accept some of these hot takes.
Yep, I think
the hot take culture, man. We're part of it. You know, we're throwing them out there, and we're
That's
just
very true. Don't forget it. L squared.
We're very much as guilty.
Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Yeah, you know, the Chiefs' defense, they really dropped the ball in that AFC Championship game, and you know, Eric Berry looked old, really old for maybe the first time in his career. Did not look good. So with him gone, and you know, they bring in Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, who hasn't really been really good since 2015. He's played okay, but you know, hopefully,
I thought he was decent with the Texans.
Yeah, he did okay. He was a role player, but in key moments, he really whiffed on some coverages. So you know, what do? He played his best ball when he had Patrick Peterson. So you know, if you have more guys around him, hopefully he can be a guy who you can throw in and be a playmaker. But he was on track to possibly be the Defensive Player of the Year in 2015 when he tore his ACL, unfortunately. So hopefully it's a bounce back year for him. And if it's him and Jonathan Abram, two young safeties, hopefully that can kind of vilify the back end of that defense. So we'll see. Okay.
We shall see.
So I have to pick for the Packers again, but with the 30th pick of the 2019 NFL Draft. So I'm not really sure where the Packers are going to go, but I have a feeling that this is where Irv Smith Jr. comes off the board, Alabama tight end. He feels a lot like Richard Rodgers to me, who is one of Aaron Rodgers' favorites. He's kind of a guy who's sort of a Benjamin Watson type, just good route runner. He's got good burst. He's okay blocking, you know, not bad. Reminds me a lot of O.J. Howard, who came out of Alabama last year, similar kind of build.
Yeah, I mean, I know you didn't want me to mention the double murderer, but he's like a kind of like undersized H-back, a little Aaron Hernandez-y.
Whoa.
Kinda.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, definitely not as lengthy or a little more compact. Yeah.
But just as like a pure pass catcher.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
This guy's not an inline blocker, right? Am I
right? No, you're absolutely
way off
right.
on this?
No, his game is fluid route running. It's basically route running and good hands, good feet. But it's not. There's not really much blocking there to be found. Does okay, but really, pretty much par for the course for athletic tight ends coming out of college these days. You know, but that's something you just got to work on the next level. But you know, if this coach that the Packers have, they're really focused on offense and they're a young guy and they want Aaron Rodgers to sling it around, you know. This is a need for him, and Irv Smith Jr. makes sense. So
might be the Jimmy Graham farewell tour.
Yeah, exactly. And Irv Smith seems like a guy who, you know, when you watch him, it seems like he kind of bailed out quarterbacks a lot. Like when Tua was getting pressured and stuff, it seemed like he was able to adjust his routes and come back and find the ball, which Aaron Rodgers is, you know, one of the greats of all time. And that's his favorite part of the game, is kind of extending it and doing weird shit. So, I think Irv Smith would be a good fit there. So,
yep.
Do we have any comments for him?
I didn't catch any there, so that's my bad.
God damn.
Missed out. We missed out. Who's next?
So
last one.
No, second to last one. So with the
second last one.
With the 31st pick in the 2019 draft,
31.
Sean Payton and the Los Angeles Rams are on the clock.
And let's see. Might feel like a bit of a swerve here. Actually, I have to gotta think here. Yeah. Okay. This is right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going running back here.
Whoa.
I'm going Josh Jacobs.
What? Wow.
Yep.
I'm literally shocked right now.
I'm going Josh Jacobs. They lost Mark Ingram, obviously. They still have Kamara. I don't know that you necessarily want to have Kamara as your feature back. And did I miss a free agent signing that they picked up or something?
Well, I mean, they signed Latavius Murray, but we're picking for the Rams. This is the Rams, my man.
Oh, you said Sean Payton.
Oh, I meant Sean McVay.
I was picking for the Saints. No. You have no idea who Sean McVay is. And it's the second time.
I was like, really? Like Todd Gurley? And he's gonna pick up a running back?
Gurley on the block.
That's hilarious.
God, that would be hilarious if they did pick. I have like no feel for the Rams now. I felt really good about that Saints pick too.
Yeah.
God damn it. The Rams. Who are they going to pick? I don't have any quarterbacks left. This is a stumper.
There's a couple guys. I mean, there's guys that...
I'm feeling... I got a feel, but I'm not... I just want to run through this quick here in my head just to make sure I'm not completely... Okay. I know I am. I'm sticking with offense, and I'm gonna pick who I think is the better Ole Miss wide receiver. I'm gonna go A.J. Brown here.
Okay, wow.
A.J. Brown, wide receiver.
Is he the guy with the really long arms? Like kind of skinny dude?
He's like crazy long arms. Yeah. He's one of... I think he fits because he was actually a slot receiver. He just looked weird with those like crazy long arms, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a slot receiver, so that fits, I think, with what the Rams do a lot. And they, as good as their offense was, when Cooper Kupp went down, they didn't have guys on. They didn't have guys to throw the ball to.
Right.
You could maybe make a case for a tight end if there was one available, but I just don't. I mean, the kind of big three that, Font, Hawkinson, and Irv Smith are off the board here. So I think this makes sense. I was just kind of double-checking going through to make sure I'm not missing anything here. But, again, I think. I like this. Yeah. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, Ole Miss, wide receiver. This is like an insurance policy. They have essentially, they don't have a ton of holes on this team, but I do think that having a backup plan, especially with how much they use three wide receivers. God, I can't think of the guy who they had out there, but I had him on my fantasy team. I'm like, I've never heard of this guy, but he's kind of putting up.
Yeah, he had the winning touchdown in the 53-51 game.
So
like 83 or whatever is. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, God, if they had like real guys out there, and granted, if Cooper Kupp doesn't get hurt, we're not having this conversation, but boom, here we are. So versatile guy, slot receiver that is. More looks like an outside guy, but hey, A.J. Brown.
There Rams. We go. All right.
New head coach Sean Payton of the Rams.
Sean Payton. That was my bet. Yep. So, we'll see what he does. I hear a lot of good things, so we'll see. So with the final pick in the first round of the 2019 NFL mock draft, L Squared podcast, the New England Patriots select Brian Burns, Florida State.
Yeah. The guy that slipped a little bit is... Yeah. It's probably going to be good.
Yeah, it just feels like a Bill Belichick pick. He slipped, and, they lost Flowers to the Lions in free agency. He was their main pass rusher down the stretch, so this just makes sense. It fell to him. He's not a great run defender, but if they could make Jamie Collins a Pro Bowler, then I think they'll do okay.
Right.
So.
Right. I guess I'll just leave it. This last final YouTube comment, John Burke. The DEs, he put a space between D and E, so it's like a B and E, like a breaking and entering. The D and E's in this draft are unreal. Period. Never been such a stacked class. Period. I feel like this guy won't be drafted top 10. Well, he's right in this case, but he will make teams regret not drafting him top 5.
Wow.
So he doubles down there. He's at the blackjack table, and he's like he probably won't be drafted top 10, but he's gonna make him even more pissed for not drafting him top 5. So that's there it is. We're done.
All right.
Did it.
We did it. So I'm just gonna go through a quick rundown of all of them. So Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback. Niners select Nick Bosa, defensive end. Jets select Ed Oliver, defensive tackle.
Love it. Great pick.
Raiders select Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle.
Hate it. Wow, what were they thinking?
Bucks select Montez Sweat, defensive end, linebacker.
Wow, steal.
Giants select Josh Allen, linebacker. Jags select Jawan Taylor.
Impressive.
Lions select Jonah Williams.
Not the best, but
Bills select Devin White. That's a great pick.
We're back on track. Wow,
so
there we go.
The Broncos select T.J. Hawkinson, tight end. The Bengals select Drew Lock, quarterback. Packers select Devin Bush, linebacker. Dolphins select Daniel Jones, quarterback. Falcons select Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle. Redskins, out of nowhere, select Will Greer, quarterback.
Yeah.
Panthers.
Mark my words, he's going in the first round.
Panthers select DK Metcalf, wide receiver. Giants select Rashawn Gary, linebacker. Vikings select Garrett Bradbury. Titans select Clelin Ferrell. Steelers select Marquise Hollywood Brown. Seahawks select Andre Dillard. Ravens select Jeffrey Simmons. Texans select Byron Murphy. Raiders select Noah Fant. Eagles select Cody Ford. Colts select Dexter Lawrence. Raiders select Dwayne Haskins. Chargers select Greedy Williams. Chiefs select Jonathan Aram. Packers select Irv Smith Jr. Rams select A.J. Brown. And finally, the Patriots select Brian Burns.
There it is.
There we go. We got through all of them.
So come back tomorrow for day 2. We will be going through rounds 2 and 3.
So, yeah, don't worry. It's going to be the whole day.
With even more YouTube comment. We're actually, our podcast may be even longer than the draft itself. So,
yeah, can't wait.
You have that to look forward to.
So, this has been... Thanks if you made it this far, we appreciate you going on this ride with us. And obviously, they don't need promotion, but go ahead and check out the NFL Draft. I love watching it every year. Check me out on Twitter at LukeLarson89. This podcast at L Squared Podcast on Twitter, at L2 Podcast on Facebook. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, and
hit us up on the
Instagram, L Squared Podcast. How could I forget?
Fire posts.
That Insta's hot. That thing is lit.
It's hot.
It's hot. The hot tub's too hot. Instagram's too hot.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted to talk, beach bum thoughts, you're more than welcome to go ahead.
Your beach bum thoughts are welcomed, and they will be embraced with open arms.
Yeah.
And we will be talking about the beach bum next episode.
Yeah.
Barring my holdout from doing more podcasts until I renegotiate my contract. So that's just putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. Okay? It's being reported.
Well, my people will talk to your people. We'll figure it out.
Good. I look forward to it. I want guaranteed money. I want that Kirk Cousins money. That's it.